Hi, how are you? My name's Phil, and welcome back to Magic the Gathering, and today we're playing Lavinia Azorius Renegade, a Stax-based commander, and by Stax I mean Strategic Denial of Resources. In case you don't know what Stax is, you don't know too much about EDH or Commander gameplay. This is more of a Commander card than a Historic Brawl card, but I like it in Historic Brawl because it typically does just enough, and it's just a fun Azorius commander. It does what it says on the 10 with an asterisk. Each opponent can't cast non-creature spells with mana value greater than the number of lands that player controls. Alchemy interacts weirdly with this, so if you have alchemy cards that give cost reductions, it technically means that. So for example, say someone reduces the cost of a River's Rebuke, and it costs 2 less to play, and they play it for exactly the amount of lands they have, they can still play that, right? Because it technically got its cost reduced, so Lavinia doesn't counteract against that type of alchemy stuff, which is a little weird, but it's just how the card works, and whenever an opponent casts a spell, if no mana was spent to cast it, counter that spell. This doesn't work with Casualty. So something like Make Disappear, if you sack something to use to Make Disappear, the copy still gets cast. I've run into that a few times while doing some testing for the deck to see how the deck functions, and I've been like, why can they still cast Casualty? And, you know, I don't know. Because I feel like it's a case of they're not using mana to cast the copy, but Lavinia doesn't automatically counter it, so that's just like a fair warning. If you're looking into stuff where people play Casualty spells, then you're in for a rough time. But in general, the game plan of this deck is a general stacks-based theme where it's just lots of strategic denial of resources, you know, Delve in, Hand of Control, Archon of Absolution, and Baird, Steward of Argive. Great stuff like that. God's Pharaoh's statue is in here as well, and then just lots of solid counterspells, Draw Disruption, Make Disappear, Defabricate, and then just some powerful creature cards like Dennick, Harbin, Wrath, Scheming Fence, and Sten. General win con is typically through Mural or some other soldier-based strategy, as well as just general card draw and advantage and playing through our Planeswalkers. Lots of board wipes in here, lots of counter magic, lots of powerful stuff, but it can get overrun fairly quickly if you don't find your stacks pieces early. And into hard control matchups, the hard control would typically beat you out because they'll just have more actual options. As opposed to you playing, say, you know, Narset, Recruitment Officer, and Esper Sentinel, your opponent will play River's Rebuke and bounce your whole board, and then take 3 extra turns. You get what I'm saying. It works really well in general if you can get rolling and get off the ground within the first few turns, get a bunch of stuff on board that has the cost increase effects, and be able to hold up counterspells for the more powerful things, but it's a bit of a weird deck to pilot. So just, you know, play at your own risk. You also might get a little bit of hate for playing stacks in Historic Brawl. But the deck's a lot of fun. Deck list will be in the description for what I use. There is one notable exception. That, if I can spell it. That's not how you spell Emeria, is it? Emeria? It's a card that I can't include personally because I don't own it. But I would probably dump something like Kasmina Enigmatic Mentor or Archmage Emeritus for the Archon of Emeria. Each player can't cast more than 1 spell each turn, non-basic lands your opponent control into the battlefield tapped. It's really good into matchups where you're playing into like a 5-color deck or multicolored decks, you know, or just your opponent is just playing a lot of non-basic lands. It's just a really powerful card in those matchups. It's a really powerful stacks piece as well because it just slows the game down to a grinding halt. And if you can get something like Mural off the ground with a Teferi on board, you can just make a bunch of creatures, dig through your deck really hard, and just go off. Either way, hope you enjoy the gameplay that follows. We're going to try and hop into some games and see if we can get some cool wins, maybe some cool losses, regardless of all that. Like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more content like this on the channel, and I hope to catch you in the next one. Mishra, claimed by Gex. This is going to be bad for me. Especially when I don't get to be on the play. We'll make it work. We'll make it work. We have a tapped land into untapped land. Into holding up Impulse, most likely. We'll see what they play. We do get 2 planes, which isn't great. I think I need to work on my mana base a bit. I think it's a little too planes heavy. Ornithopter of Paradise? Yeah, we play Lavinia here because we want to counter expensive non-creature spells they have. They can't play... If they're trying to play like a 3-mana non-creature, they literally cannot play it because they don't have the lands. They need to play the land before they can play a 3-drop non-creature spell. They could just try and play Mishra here. But that's probably fine for them, honestly. He's a 3-5. We did get a soul partition, though. Really nice. We go full control here because... Special from a card, put it into your graveyard and then shuffle. We just want to soul partition them. I could have played Sten in hindsight and chosen Instance. That's a really big misplay. I'm not used to this deck entirely yet. It's a fairly new build. We're playing full control because if they move to their combat step, they'll probably get something out of Mishra, right? I'm waiting for them to play a removal spell on Lavinia because that's what Rakdos players do. Alright, okay. Oops, sorry, accidentally hit the Windows key in place of turning off full control. I don't quite get why they just... I mean, like, I get why they played Plumb the Forbidden, but, like, your Mishra is literally the same cost now. And you're playing into, you know, we're just not really going to argue about these things. We want that because we want the land as a just-in-case measure. I'm keeping that land. We could disenchant their Springleaf Drum. To be fair, let's see if they just try and hardplay Mishra, which I think they will do, because they probably just really, really, really want to play their commander. That's the whole point of a Mishra deck. Mishra wants to go off, combo off, get a bunch of attack triggers. In my experience, he wants to get a bunch of attack triggers. Krenko? Alright. Sure. Yeah, you do you, buddy. I'm still probably going to disenchant their drum. I could disenchant the Ornithopter. Hindsight. Okay, not truly hindsight, but like I could disenchant the Ornithopter. I feel like I might. I'm trying to figure out what their gameplay is. They exit it as it attacks, and you do untap all other creatures you control. After this phase, there's an additional combat phase. Okay. I think we might just go hunting for a board wipe now. Interesting. I'm going to guess that was just their land for turn, because I don't see why... grab this, because it's an untapped land. Instance. And then we just kind of wait and see what happens. I really assume they just want to play Mishra. Which we might just saw it coming instead of wash away. Are they just... Okay, well, we're just gonna saw it coming the Krenko. Because for some reason, they're playing just Goblins Mishra? I don't... What out of Rakdos do you need for this deck? All you've played so far is Plumb the Forbidden. Is the sacrifice an artifact part of the, cost? I don't know. Let's go to the Springleaf Drum. I'm not exactly concerned about it. And now we can just kill the Combat Celebrant, I believe. Okay, well, we can't... Okay, we can trade for it with Sten. That's the bottom line. I'm assuming they're going to exert and be like, aha, I untapped everything. Yep. You have already entered into your combat step. I don't quite know what you're doing. We trade out the Sten here because there's no reason not to. Maybe they're going to sack their Ornithopter with their Engineer? No, they're just going to go to my turn. Okay. Boop, boop. Raf. I guess they're just playing Goblins Mishra. Which is a weird decision, But, like, I've seen weirder decisions. I guess their thought process was, goblins go big and wide. Mishra want lot things to attack. I'm using that voice to make fun of goblins, by the way, not my opponent. Like I said, I think that's the only thing that I can, like, think of here that, like, is really where my opponent was headed with this whole thing of, like, goblins go wide and attack a bunch. Mishra wants to go wide and attack a bunch. Like, the Ophiomancer makes a lot more sense because it makes basically an unblockable that'll trigger Mishra every turn, right? Brotherhood's End. Each creature in Planeswalker. Okay. That hurts you so much more than it hurts me, though? I don't know why they just wiped their own board with that. That was a little confusing. We hold up Washaway because we don't want them to play stuff for free. I guess they just really didn't like Raph and Lavinia on board. Yeah, okay, bye Delino. Welcome to Stax, by the way. We'd have fun around here. Ooh. Who do we want back the most? I think we want the reality chip back the most, actually. And we play this. And then we play this. We just kind of play out our everything. And we just vibe. So my opponent can't draw more than one. They can play their Mishra if they found an untapped land. A 2/3 with flying. Okay. Do I really care about a 2/3 with flying? Especially when it doesn't do damage. We minus to hunt for stuff. I think we grab the deep hop over the farewell. Fun fact, Defabricate can counter Mishra's triggered ability. I don't know why they played out a creature when they can see me holding a depopulate. But you know, it happens. Let's hunt for something cool.
Hone your prowess.
Ooh, I'm really sad that that was a whiff. I am really sad that that was a whiff. That would have been a really sick hit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't know how to count. That is 6 total mana felt. Oh boy, where did I get 7 from? We still have Defabricate to counter certain abilities. Godpharaoh's statue is a really nice draw here. I think we'll just kind of keep the Mishra held back for like 3 full turns with Dovin. It has been Dovined. Prevent all damage that be dealt to you and dealt by the target permanent opponent controls. Did you, like, not read what my creature does, or my planeswalker does? Draw 3. I guess I just didn't read what Dovin does, huh? Grim Verdict is very good here, as is Godpharaoh's statue. We're getting our Stax game going. Oh man. Yes, oops is right. I don't mean to laugh, but that was just kind of funny. Okay, well, like, in the most literal sense, yes, I did mean to laugh. Like, literally, yes, I chose to laugh there. Because I thought it was funny that they tried to sign in blood with a Narset on board. I also really don't think they get what Dovin does yet, which is kind of interesting. I might Supreme Verdict to get rid of their Mishra, but I might just hit it with just a March instead. That might be the better play. Yeah, I think March is the better play now. How much is it for? I can play this then. It's most of my everything, but I can play it. Now I have Esper Sentinel and Dovin out, and yep, that's a GG's. I feel a little bad for laughing at Sign in Blood. Like, I've made mistakes like that before too. But that's Stax right there. We got Dovin out, their only creature couldn't hurt stuff. We got Narset out, they couldn't draw extra. We got Godfarers out, they couldn't cast for so much. I'm a little confused by the Brotherhood's End still. I think maybe they were just concerned that I was going to draw a bunch with Wrath. I was going to maybe draw like one and then board wipe. But hey, sometimes it happens. Yeah, on to the next game, I guess. We are going up against Ivy. Oh, what is the weird interaction? When it goes first, that sucks. I'm trying to think. Yeah, the weird thing about the copies for Ivy is I don't believe Lavinia auto hits them. I'm really sad in hindsight that I got the Guild Gate because it throws off my curve that I was planning. But I guess to be fair, I can play Reliquary Tower Mindstone. It's not like I can actually hold up blue mana this turn anyways. I think the plan's still gonna be play the plains into the clock. I could play the clock and the Guild Gate because Spell Pierce can still be held up though, I guess. I don't know. I think that might actually be the play. Guild Gate into clock unless I draw an untapped blue source. Ivy's a really tough matchup in general for most decks. I think for... Okay, I did draw an untapped blue source. I can't play my commander in the clock, but I can hold open two... Actually, you know what? Let's, I'll have... Let's do it like this to make it look like I have something better than I do. And just swing, because I don't think they want to block with Ivy. And now, let's go ahead and play our commander. I was trying to get a gauge of what they were really trying to do. Spell Pierce will be good. But I think being able to just, like, yeah, okay. Being able to just Supreme Verdict them in a turn here will be much better. Did I have held off on my commander now in hindsight? Yes. Did I know they were going to play Skewed Swarm? Absolutely not. Fortunately for me, I don't mind that much about the recruitment officer going. They're just a human soldier that can work very well with my deck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 open mana. I'll have 6 open mana next turn. I do just double swing, by the way, because there's no reason not to, because I'm going to Supreme Verdict them. I guess they could have a slip out the back, but I can Spell Pierce it. I did math wrong. You hate to see it. You really hate to see it. I should have played my Snow-Covered Plains. I can still Spell Pierce if they try and do some weird combo off thing with Ivy. And the Supreme Verdict being 1 turn later means they might get to commit to a board state more. We will find out. I'll probably also just, like, add another counter to Midnight Clock to get my my stuff going. What does Glowstone Recluse do? When it mutates, put counters on it? Yeah, I'm glad I got this out of them first. Hindsight moment. I do eat 8 for it, but that's an okay trade. I should have held back my commander though. They're only holding up open a green now though, so I know that it's not going to be a There it is. And then go ahead and wipe the board. Take action. They can replay their commander, but I'm not worried. We can still hold up Spell Pierce for if they try and just like re-combo off. I think Godfarer's statue is going to do a lot of work in this matchup. That's why I can get it on board. I'm really sad. I can't really interact with that unless I get a board wipe. I think we just play out the Godfarer's statue, honestly. Make their stuff be more expensive, work towards my midnight clock at the same time. It also makes it really easy to play around a lot of their stuff now because Spell Pierce hits for much, much more. Already at 9 counters on midnight clock, I might just not want to play out much of anything from my hand. Also, they have artifact removal. I have a Spell Pierce to save the thing. This is the Stax game plan, baby! We are denying resources! They have to pay more mana for everything! They have to pay more mana for everything! Play the commander. Play the Aganjo. I think I want that back in the deck, so, I really do think I want the Cylindy Vision back in the deck. I don't think I want it as a land on board. They don't know what I have in hand, so I got that going for me. They're also in a tough decision where, like, do they kill the Midnight Clock to prevent me from refilling my hand? Do they kill the Godpharaoh statue to allow them to play the game? Right? They're in a really awkward situation because of that. Because Godpharaoh is a really good denial piece. Just 2 extra mana to cast anything is incredibly strong. As you can tell by the fact that it just cost them 5 mana to replay their commander. When they have a, really... Oh my lord! Oh, that was a beautiful draw. Yeah, let's get some free ramp out of that. And then play the Dawn Guard, I think. And then we get to... And then we get to all hold up Spell Pierce, Jawari Disruption, Fabricate, and make disappear. Oh, this poor Ivy player, man. To be fair, I don't feel that bad because Ivy is a commander who can combo off to an intense degree. Like, whew, man, Ivy can get some really crazy combos going if they get something on board that they can really play around. Fun fact, if they trigger that ability, I might just defabricate it. Because it's reveal the top card of this creature, put it in your hand, otherwise put it in your graveyard. If they tap out 3 mana for that, and I defabricate that, I put them in a really bad position. So they're probably hunting for like a Storm Break? Rune of Might. I mean, you want to pay for that? You want to spend your whole turn on that Rune of Might, buddy? I bet they do. But that's the whole thing, though. I'm just trying to make them play out everything under the sun. And this is a race they definitely don't win, because we're draining an extra per turn with Godpharaoh's statue. And they concede, because we have overwhelmed them with the state of the game. Yeah, that was great. GG's. Tiamat. Weird, but okay. I've recently started replaying Tiamat a bit, so I kind of get the excitement. Opponent goes first. Ooh, mulligan. Yeah, much better. We see what color they play, and that makes our decision for us. What do I mean by that? I mean if they play... Excuse me, sorry. If they played like a green early, we hold up Spell Pierce. By playing one of our untapped lands here. But they didn't play green early, so we just don't care. Because they're not going to ramp... not going to ramp off not green spells. I'm incredibly surprised to see a Tiamat deck running any removal. That deck has such a hard time getting off the ground. You're really gonna, like, waste cards on removal? They have their green, but they're not able to ramp with it because it's tapped, so that's good. Interesting. What does this do? Whenever you draw a dragon card, it perpetually gets 1/1. I guess that says that they drew a dragon card, huh? Alright, we just hold up the farewell and shit. Taking 1 point of damage per turn doesn't really hurt us. That's not a good card for this matchup. I don't think they can play out anything dangerous this turn, so we just grab Key. Yeah, Judgment's good. Sorry, Spell Pierce. I think they're past the point of wanting to ramp, but I could be wrong. That could have been the right play to hold up the Spell Pierce, but we'll find out. Probably gonna play Drawer Disruption as a tapped land and then just Day of Judgment if they double dragon or something. I don't know. We'll find out. We'll find out if I'm making the right choices here or not. I could just throw out my Tactician and just try and go ham. Yeah, I guess we'll just do that. Tap you. You, Foretell. Play you. You're a soldier, right? Yeah, you are. Make 2 soldiers off of this. Now we're in the driver's seat. Yeah, okay. That's kind of bad for you. We're getting very close to GG's here, I think. We are getting very close to GG's here. Yeah. Yeah, my opponent missed a bunch of land. You might think, Felt, this isn't a very exciting game, and you try and only include, like, really exciting and cool good games in your deck, or for your decks. You're right, it's not exciting, but it does show the beatdown aspect, and that's something that I do kind of want to show off, that this deck can go beat down. Not very effectively, not very quickly, nor efficiently. Oh, interesting. Let's hunt for a counterspell. They might be in this more than I thought. Ah, that's a huge whiff. Damn. Anyways. I mean, to be fair, we're still swinging at 7 mana at them, or 7 damage, sorry. They're almost dead now. I think I will just play out the Deafening Silence, so if they do have multi-spells, they can play the non-creature spells. They might be in this more than I thought, but they have 3 life left, so unless they play something really, really good here, I think they're in trouble. They could have the Destroy All Non-Dragons card, and that would put me back a lot. That would put me back a lot, but then they wouldn't be able to do anything else off of it. And if they just play their commander, they just die. Alright, well they just die anyways, so... Because they can't do anything during my turn regardless because of Mural. Yeah, it's GG's. Like I said, I typically don't include just like raw beatdown of my stuff, but like... Well, like with my decks and stuff, but like I just wanted to show that the deck can do it, right? Like there is a soldier theming in here. Like you saw right there, the Orden Tacticians combined with Mural, combined with being able to get some stacks pieces out ahead of time. Or, okay, sorry, these aren't stacks pieces. These are just counter spells and card draw. This is a stacks piece, though. Those things combined really kind of like, I feel, add up to showing off a different side of the deck, so this gameplay is staying in, even if it is a bit short. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? We got Captain Ripley Vance, mono red. I don't know what this commander does. That's good. He's a 3-drop, and if you cast your 3rd spell. Interesting. I hope I draw an untapped land. It's fine if I don't, because of, I have all my colors available. I'll be able to play Curse of Silence on 2, Thalia on 3. I don't know if I'll be able to win this matchup, though, with this hand. I probably should have mulliganed in hindsight, because I'm actually really, really banking on a, I'm actually really, really banking on a 3rd land here. If I draw it, I can search for glory. I don't gain any life off of that. Just like give them mana. Can't read. Remove a book counter. Add colorless mana. None of you cast an instant or sorcery, you add a book counter. Interesting. I think we just play our commander. They can be a blocker for us. Their commander's a little expensive to play. They could just play a... So they're just Faithless Looting, kind of? I'm getting lucky on my draws. Very cool. I think we just Archmage. And then swing, honestly. A little weird, but... So they can't play their Faithless Looting unless they draw their third land. They did draw their third land. They can't play a 4-drop, though, but they can play any number of 3-drops. Interesting. So they're just like a hardcore looting deck for this guy? Oh, it makes sense, though, because he's a... Okay, yeah, sorry. I'm very silly. When you cast your third spell each turn. Yeah, G felt. Arcane Signet's a good draw. What do we want? We kind of want to just grab God Pharaoh's statue, don't we? I wonder if they'll board wipe me. I'll play the Arcane Signet out. Robber of the Rich. That is an unfortunate one for me. For the time, they exile the top card of the library. They do get to do that. Exile the plains. That sucks for me. Mana ramp. We grab the counterspell, I think. And sorry, Thalia, I think you've outlived your usefulness. I'm in a very sketchy position here. But I think I can survive my way through it. Visions of Phyrexia. Interesting. I'm kind of respecting the hell out of their deck. Is that an on-attack trigger, by the way? When it attacks. It's an on-attack trigger. Well, let's start with the easy card. God Pharaoh statue. And now we vibe. Because we hold up counterspell to counteract whatever crazy shenanigans they want to play. What did they get? Marne's Bastion, a proliferate land. I think we let the Ornithopter through. Their commander costs 6 and a red right now because of all my pieces on board. We don't let that through. Sorry, opponent. Dang it. I let him go, though, because I don't care that much. We can play Strict Proctor now, which makes my life easier. It's a solid chump blocker. The fairy's really good here as well. Rock hard.
Past is a puzzle. There is much the past can teach us.
They're really good because they are just... They have a bunch of expensive stuff going for them, really. And they are a 1/3, meaning they can, like, successfully chump the robber. Let's draw. Dang, I got him, Joe. The fairy gets to counter, though. That's why I wanted to draw more than anything. They are, in dire straits, though. Probably a Demon Bolt. I probably want to just start drawing and grabbing some cool stuff. Ooh, is that an enchantment? That's an artifact. Shit. Let's see if we can't find something better.
Now that is an interesting fact.
I think we sack our board state for this. I don't need the Key to the Archives as much as they need their mana rocks, right? Artifacts, creatures, enchantments. I don't think our stacks pieces are as important as them having more stuff here. I think going for a fresh board state helps me a lot more than it helps them. Restoration. Like, they get to replay their commander here, which isn't, like, the greatest thing for me. But I'm in a much better position, I would like to believe. I can play 3 mana worth of spells here. Ancestral Anger, okay. Okay, you hit my
Who
Teferi.
taught you
Cool.
your manners?
He draws. Ditch the plains. Get back. Thalia. Draw a card.
There is much the past can teach us.
Dinnick. Sten, so he can say instance. Now if he does 5 damage to Teferi, I'm not concerned. He has a lot of mana though, which is kind of scary. Yeah, I mean Captain Ripley Vance. They don't have a ton of stuff they can play though. They get to dual strike though, that sucks. Alright, Teferi goes bye-bye, but they're gonna lose their commander out of this. They just don't know it yet. Oh, did they just like... They don't have any mana though, do they? That doesn't count as a spell. I need to play something for 2 mana now. They have the spell. They have the spell. I'm shocked they're going after Sten there. Little silly to not plan for the Aganjo, but you know, worse things have happened. Alright, let's do some math. -1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Everywhere.
Let's just draw 5. I think I can Otawara still, right? It's 3 less for each legendary I control. I think. Regardless, I can bounce it with Otawara. Play ref. Go and opt and see if we can't, Well, that solves some of my problems. I can ultimate Teferi now.
I don't know about you, but I'm about to have a whole
That's
lot of
pretty powerful stuff right there. I'm very focused on my gameplay at the moment because I'm trying to figure out how to play around this Captain Ripley Vance. It's a very powerful card. It's kind of kicking my butt a bit. Oh, alright, well, hey, GG's. I can't believe I pulled that one off. To be fair, that's essentially playing River's Rebuke. My opponent had me on the ropes, believe it or not. They were a couple of good turns away from just, like, getting rid of my stuff. I think that Farewell, which I've lost track of. Is this in my graveyard? There it is. Hi, Farewell. I think that Farewell saved my butt. I did lose, like, a bunch of mana and one of my solid stacks pieces, but, like, we go and look in their exile. Hitting the Visions, hitting the Signet and the Satchel, I think that was invaluable. GG's opponent. Kozilek the Great Distortion. I go first, though. I think this is a matchup I might be pretty good with. We'll find out, though. I'm kind of concerned. If I get another white source, I'll be much more happy. Well, pretty good. I don't know how much mana ramp they're going to go for. I just know that it's probably pretty good for me to have Lavinia here. Target opponent creates 2 O2 plants with defenders. Equipped creature gets +2. So I don't know if equipped creature's combat damage for player may transform it. Interesting. I guess they just wanted to give me some plant. It doesn't look like the plants have a downside. It might just be a downside of the card being so cheap. Spell Pierce that. We don't want them to have improvise for free. Teferi. Because he's really strong here.
Don't worry. I face scarier villains. Second here, second there. Who's counting?
I don't know what I want to play around now. It looks like they're just trying to mana ramp a bunch. I think we bounce the cold. I think we soul petition the Cold Steel Heart because it comes into play tapped. An officer. Activate ability. Dang, that sucks. Tap on tap on tap. That was a huge whiff on Recruitment Officer. I'm really sad. I do have a lot of stuff that's mana value 3 or less, which is why I'm really sad that that just whiffed. Spinning Wheel. They're really just mana ramping, huh?
Ah, the eternal question. Win the quick way or the fun way?
I am missing every possible trigger I have here. I think they might just, like, die here soon if I'm lucky. Esper Sentinel is good. Up for wait, activate her. God, I'm whiffing.
And some think time only flows in one direction.
Wait, hang on. Do we just, like, win, though? They only have one open mana. Guess they can discard 4 for this counter? Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure we just win that. They were very slow. And this is, once again, it's going to be a shorter match, but I think it kind of shows off the fact that this deck can kind of just start doing the beatdown. They're getting some soldiers out, start hunting for cards, start mana ramping a little bit. I'm going to include it for that reason. I don't think it was a particularly strong showing of the deck, but I think it shows off that it can do stuff like that. Yeah, GG's to opponent. I feel like they were really close. I think if they'd gotten Aetherflux Reservoir on board sooner, they probably could have beaten me easily. Because I was not drawing very well. And that's the deck. Hopefully you saw some solid stuff out of it, saw some controlling games. So a couple of quick games in there, I think, where I just kind of got like a little baby beatdown going, a little 5-6 damage a turn, just pow pow with the soldiers. Yeah, the deck's fun. I think it could use some work. I think the mana base is a little wonky at the moment, and I think there's some more powerful cards I could include over some other cards that I have in here. Maybe tone down the soldiers angle and just lean into the Stax angle. And just maybe only have a very slight twinge of soldiers with, like, Miral and, like, Arbin and Dennick, right? Like, only run, like, a handful of soldiers for that tiny bit of soldiers energy. And the rest of it should really lean into Stax. But for Historic Brawl, as opposed to Commander, I think that the Stax angle can be quite hard to play. Because a lot of people will just, if they are a deck that suffers from Stax, will either leave really quick or beat you down without it, right? Like, it's one or the other. If they're suffering from Stax because they like to play big creatures, they will just use their smaller creatures to beat you down constantly. If they're a deck that likes to go big and wide, artifacts, enchantments, all that stuff, then sometimes your Stax pieces just aren't fast enough. But I think it's a fun deck. I think it's a really interesting deck. I think it's just a nice change of pace for me personally, something a little more hard control than Historic Brawl. But yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. If you liked it, like, subscribe, comment, all that cool stuff. Look forward to a new series coming out in the month of January, starring some Praetors and hype for Phyrexia. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. If you've watched me stream over on Twitch, you probably already know what I'm talking about. Regardless of all that, thanks for hanging out and watching, and I hope to catch you in the next one.